Have you ever felt that time isn't a straight line rushing you forward, but something else entirely? Something you can almost touch? Welcome to the Quantum Shift Portal. Here, we don't just question reality. We explore a profound and liberating truth. Time does not exist until it is observed. It is. The past, the present, the future. They are not a river carrying you along. They are an infinite, silent ocean of potential, waiting in the stillness. And it is your consciousness, your pure, focused observation, that calls forth a single moment, a single timeline into tangible existence. This is why we are the observers of time. Like the timeless figures present at key moments, we are remembering that our true power isn't to fight against the clock or race towards the future. Our power is to witness the now into being with such clarity and intention that the universe has no choice but to respond. This channel is a portal for those who are ready to stop being prisoners of time and start becoming its conscious co-creators. This is your sincere invitation to join us as we learn to observe the reality we choose, one moment at a time. If you are seeing this, your consciousness has finally reached the frequency where it can grasp the greatest secret in all of existence, the observer effect. And once you truly understand what this means, the world you thought was solid and real will dissolve before your very eyes, revealing the magical, responsive, and intelligent universe that has been waiting for you all along. This message didn't find you by accident. It wasn't the algorithm. It was magnetized to you because you felt it, haven't you? That strange, deep knowing that your attention, your very awareness, changes things. That when you truly observe something, it's almost as if reality itself holds its breath and waits for your decision. This isn't your imagination. This is you waking up to your true creative power. A century ago, the pioneers of quantum physics, men like Max Planck, Niels Bohr, and Werner Heisenberg, stumbled upon a truth so profound, so earth-shattering, that it terrified them. They had discovered the rulebook for the entire universe, an equation so powerful it describes everything from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy. They call it the Schrödinger equation. But there's a ghost in the machine. A paradox so deep, it tore a hole in the fabric of their reality. This rulebook perfectly describes a world of infinite shimmering possibilities. A wave function, where a particle could be anywhere, where every outcome is a ghostly potential waiting in the wings. It describes an ocean of infinite maybes. But the moment a conscious observer looks, everything changes. In that single sacred instant, the infinite ocean of possibilities collapses into one single event. A choice is made from the endless menu of creation. A reality is born. This is the collapse of the wave function. This is the moment of creation itself. The quantum leap from maybe to now. And here's the secret they didn't want you to grapple with, the one that turns physics into pure magic. The rulebook, the Schrödinger equation, does not explain the collapse. In fact, the collapse violates the rulebook. Every time an observation is made, the fundamental law of the quantum world is broken by hand. So the ultimate question, the one that has kept the most brilliant minds on Earth awake at night for 100 years, is this. If all the known forces and interactions in the universe are already in the rulebook, what is the mysterious, invisible force outside the rulebook that is powerful enough to break the laws of physics and collapse possibility into solid reality? What you are about to discover in this video is the answer to that question. An answer that has been hidden in plain sight. An answer that will not only change how you see the world, but will hand you the very key to creating it. Because the force that collapses the universe into being is you. For a century, the greatest minds on Earth have searched for a physical cause for the collapse. A hidden particle, a secret force. They have found nothing. Why? Because you can't find the cause of the collapse within physics for one simple reason. The cause isn't physical. This is the very reason Albert Einstein, the father of modern physics, could never fully accept quantum mechanics. He famously declared, "God does not play dice with the universe, unable to accept a reality that seemed to be a game of chance, only decided when observed." He called the strange connection between particles spooky action at a distance, He fought against it his entire life because it destroyed his cherished idea of a solid, independent, predictable universe that exists, whether we look at it or not. But the evidence became undeniable, especially with the famous double-slit experiment. In this experiment, when scientists fire single electrons at a screen with two slits, the electrons behave like waves, creating a pattern that suggests they went through both slits at the same time. They exist in a cloud of possibility. But, and here's the magic, the moment the scientists place a detector to see which slit the electron goes through, the magic vanishes. The electron instantly stops being a wave of possibilities and behaves like a simple, solid particle going through only one slit. The very act of observing it forced it to make a choice. Think about it. We are often told a quantum particle is in many places at once. This is a comforting but illogical lie. A wave function describes infinite possibilities, not infinite physical locations happening at the same time. A triangle cannot have indeterminate sides. A circle cannot have an undefined radius. An object, a thing, cannot exist if its properties do not exist. So what is a particle before it is observed? Until that moment of observation, the particle isn't anywhere. It's not a thing. It is pure potential. A set of probabilities. A mathematical idea. It's like a beautiful, unwritten symphony. The score contains all the potential for music, but without a musician to observe it and play it, there is no sound. There is only silence. This is where our solid reality shatters. Quantum mechanics proves that the world is not a continuous film. It is a series of discrete, separate events, frozen frames of reality. And what exists between these frames? Nothing but infinite, unrealized potential. The chair you are sitting on, the air you are breathing, the screen you are watching, they only truly exist in the frozen moment you observe them. Between your observations, they are just probabilities, waiting for you to look again. This is the ghost in the machine, the paradox that has no physical solution. But what if the solution was never physical to begin with? What if the answer has been staring us in the face all along, hidden in the one thing science cannot measure or explain? What is the only thing we know of that exists outside the physical rulebook, that is not described by the Schrödinger equation, and that is capable of turning a pure idea into a real event? The answer is consciousness. Your awareness, your observation. That is the ghost in the machine. That is the missing piece. The pioneers of quantum mechanics, brilliant minds like John von Neumann and Eugene Wigner, suspected it all along. Wigner even proposed a famous thought experiment, Wigner's friend, which demonstrated that the quantum paradox only gets deeper and deeper until you accept that it is the conscious mind of the observer that finally makes reality real. Events can only happen, reality can only become solid, when a conscious mind is involved in the process. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I had a beautiful orchid in my home office that was dying. No matter what I did, water, sunlight, fertilizer, it continued to wither, its leaves turning yellow and brittle. I had all but given up on it. One day, frustrated with a project, I sat at my desk and just looked at it. But this time, it was different. I wasn't looking at it with frustration or disappointment. I was observing it with a feeling of pure, unconditional love and appreciation for the life it still held. I didn't want it to bloom for me. I just held it in my awareness, my consciousness, as a perfect living thing. I did this for a few minutes every day. Within a week, something impossible happened. A tiny new green leaf appeared from the base. Within a month, a new stem was growing. And 2 months later, that orchid exploded with more vibrant flowers than it ever had before. Nothing physical had changed except the quality of my observation. My consciousness, my attention, had collapsed a new, vibrant possibility for that plant into its reality. Through the perfect harmony of the laws of physics and the miracle of neuroplasticity, you too can walk through the quantum shift portal and experience this transformation. This video is only our first step together. Leave me a comment below about the area of your life you want to transform the most, and let me say this clearly. If you keep meeting me here in this high-frequency energy field every single day, you will feel the change in your brain, in your heart, and deep within your being. growing stronger day by day. Now, let's move forward into the next stage, where you will discover exactly how this process unfolds within your own life. But here is where we reach the final mind-bending revelation. It is not your individual mind that creates reality. To think that would be the ultimate ego trap. No, the truth is infinitely more profound. What if the physical world was never out there to begin with? What if there is no mind-independent reality? The 18th century philosopher George Berkeley proposed a stunning answer, one that quantum mechanics now validates. He suggested that physical reality only exists as a concept in a universal, cosmic mind, what some might call the mind of God. The great physicist Sir James Jeans echoed this a century later, when he famously stated, "The universe begins to look more like a great thought than like a great machine." Even the legendary physicist John Archibald Wheeler, who coined the terms black hole and wormhole, proposed a theory called it from bit. He argued that the universe is fundamentally made of information, bits, and that this information only becomes physical reality, an it, when an act of observation occurs. In this view, the universe is a collective and interactive dream, created and sustained by this one, universal consciousness. The laws of physics are not rules governing dead matter. They are the elegant, rational framework this cosmic mind uses to create the dream directly in our awareness. Ancient Vedic texts called this Maya, the grand, beautiful illusion of the material world. The collapse of the wave function is not a physical process. It is the act of creation itself. The moment the cosmic mind creates a new frame of reality directly in your mind for you to experience, you are not a separate being observing an external world. You are a focal point of the universe's consciousness, experiencing a dream that it is simultaneously creating for you. This is why mathematics, a pure creation of the human mind, is so ridiculously effective at describing the universe. Because the universe itself is a rational, mathematical thought in the mind of a cosmic creator. This is why reality seems to be a series of isolated events. Because it is. Each moment is a fresh creation, painted onto the canvas of your awareness. Suddenly, everything makes sense. The weirdness, the magic, the synchronicities, they are all features, not bugs, of a reality that is conscious, intelligent, and deeply, personally engaged with you. You are not just a character in the dream. You are not just an observer of the dream. You are the very thing being observed by a loving cosmic intelligence. And the ultimate secret, the one that changes everything, is that you are also the dreamer. But what does it mean to live from this truth? The final step is not to understand, but to activate. When you truly grasp this, you understand that you are not just an observer. You are the very thing being observed by a loving, cosmic intelligence. And at the deepest, most fundamental level, you are both. You are the universe, waking up to itself. Living from this recognition changes everything. You stop trying to force reality and you start to dance with it. You realize that every person, every situation, every challenge is the universe interacting with itself, through you, for the purpose of its own magnificent evolution. Here at the Quantum Shift Portal, our foundation is this truth. Everything is energy and everything is possible. This isn't just a hopeful affirmation. It is the fundamental law of an existence where consciousness is the one and only reality. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a single drop. So what now? How do you live from this place of infinite power and potential? You begin by observing your own observation. Notice how your reality shifts based on the quality of your attention. Practice seeing the world not as a collection of dead objects, but as a living, breathing thought form responding to you and co-creating with you in every moment. This is the key. You don't need to learn a new technique, you only need to remember the truth of who you are. A divine focal point through which the universe experiences its own magnificent dream. As you go about your day, hold this truth. See every synchronicity as a wink from the cosmic dreamer. See every challenge as a scene designed for your ultimate growth. See every person you meet as another aspect of the same universal consciousness, playing their part perfectly in the grand story. This is not just a change in perspective. This is the beginning of a new life. A life of magic, of meaning, and of infinite potential, lived in conscious collaboration with the mind of the universe. Let's meet every day. Subscribe to the Quantum Shift portal and join this collective of souls who are waking up within the dream, remembering our power as the observers of time.